Thousands of well-run businesses in Africa cannot find capital needed for growth. Financing Africa's industrial revolution as a collective. The traditional financial system has failed to support industrial development in Africa. The Cardano blockchain enables us to build a better and more inclusive system, and Waya Collective takes on this challenge. The alternative we are offering is a community-governed B2B lending protocol to finance Africa's industrial revolution together. The $330 billion funding gap. Many books try to explain the current state of Africa's economy, why nations fail, and guns, germs and steel are two of the most popular. The assumed causality and weight of different factors change from one book to another. Still, one aspect that all scholars agree on is that the current financial system is insufficient to facilitate the industrial development of Africa. One can argue about the theories outlined, but one thing is clear: Africa lacks the sufficient financial infrastructure to support the growth needed. The lack of liquidity. The most common number one can find is $330 billion. The World Bank Group goes as high as $1 trillion that is missing to finance African businesses. The reasons why liquidity is missing are manifold, but the most cited are the missing opportunity to build capital stock historically, and that significant government lending is outcrowding the private sector in local markets. Western lenders avoid providing liquidity due to high perceived risk. Africa is indeed risky if you have no reliable way to differentiate between good and bad opportunities, or anyway have no will to invest. It is telling that most Western institutions see Africa only as a place for aid, while about everyone else from Russia to India and China sees Africa as huge economic opportunities. Beyond just missing liquidity, the cost of capital on the continent is exceptionally high, falling between 25% and 100% annually. One of the main reasons is the little available liquidity is so expensive is due to large overheads and little automatization to service the few existing customers willing to lend at these high interest rates. If the lack of capital and the extremely high interest rates would be enough, there is an additional systemic error. The missing middle. Most financing focuses on either microfinancing, loans up to $5,000 or much larger sums above $500,000 for major projects, mostly from foreign direct investments, FDI. Missing middle. A well-run business looking for $50,000 or $100,000 to buy a new machine falls into this missing middle. There are almost no lenders in place to support such a transaction with a loan, and those who are available are exceptionally expensive. This business will have no options other than postponing the purchase until better days, thus giving up on profitable opportunities. Bridging this gap is essential for economic empowerment. The Waya way to bridge this gap and fill the middle. A simple explanation of the Waya gap is Project Catalyst for African industry, where Catalyst provides grants, Waya provides loans. The B2B lending product we are building is community-based and targeting this exact niche. Project Catalyst for African industry. From the perspective of a borrower, we will look a lot like a traditional fintech. This is critical for adoption, as crypto is often stigmatized in Africa as a thing that scams hardworking people out of their savings. The potential borrower is invited to set up an account and hand in projects. While describing the loan purpose, the borrower can set their own loan offer, interest rate and repayment structure. However, the available interest is limited by the amount of data a borrower is willing to disclose. After a project is handed in for voting, it will receive an automated risk score. This risk score is core innovation of Waya. Only projects with an excellent risk score will make it to the community voting. By allowing projects to set their own interest within a range, we hope to create a free market in which every project's owner will offer the maximum feasible rate, while no project owner will take on a loan burdening the underlying project too much. Easy and straightforward. Loans are denominated in USD and paid out in national currencies. These loans are paid out and collected by local partners that could enforce a collateral. First, the capital for the loans comes from our token sale. Later, we plan to add the option to deposit stablecoins into the protocol to earn APY on their deposit. This option will further enrich the utility of the Waya token beyond governance. Why community votes? We will receive many more valid applications than we can fund. The projects making it into the funding rounds will emphasize different aspects of industrialization and will meet ESG criteria to varying degrees. We have to make hard decisions. To us, the best way to make such decisions is to ask the community. Thereby, the community can steer the wheels of Waya and guide our judgments. Radical transparency. Additionally, we hope to create a free market for good decisions. Long term, it will be possible to delegate token voting rights to a professional that will focus on making good investment decisions and be rewarded proportionally. Alternatively, we will create an option to automatically delegate to the best risk assessment score and ESG ratio. Risk management with medical precision. When considering risk in Africa using scales created by Western standards, even the most successful, growing business are considered too risky for conventional lending. Waya needs to look at risk differently, in respect to the true African business climate, not some stagnant score sheet made for a different world. We use advanced applied mathematical theorems to calculate risk in a revolutionary way. Using techniques that have been called the next step in machine learning, Waya gathers data in a completely different way. By looking at each company as a sample of a whole, Waya is able to aggregate rich meaning behind the hidden factors that define the unique risk in each company dynamically. In doing so, we mitigate risk with unparalleled accuracy, allowing us to lend more and with a higher degree of security. We believe our methods for risk management are far more accurate and advanced than anything available on the market. We can leverage these methods to provide an assessment of the state of a business more accurately than anyone else, allowing greater flexibility in our loan strategy. We believe in forward building. That is to say, what we build now will be the foundation of the future. Waya will study the information available to us from the risk management model and formulate a security system interested in the growth and propagation of Waya, as well as a mathematically provable and fair suffrage system for the establishment of the Waya DAO. We originally intended to use this model for our governance, now it's our core. It aggregates data from different sources, starting with self-reported data and combining it with unconventional sources such as satellite data and utility usage data. We form a precise geometrical plot, which is a multidimensional visualization of the aggregated data. This plot allows us to identify different clusters formed by companies that are unlikely to repay a loan, such as A, B, D. Each of the cluster is predicted to fail repayment in a different way but with the same ultimate consequence, loan default. C and E cluster both pass, but each of them with a different risk score, and have unique reasons for them. Medical precision. The virtues Waya cycle. Waya's ability to predict risk depends on the amount of data we have collected. Normally, if you offer grants or loans in Africa, the organization offering is drowning in applications. This very flood that is normally a burden is turned by Waya into a virtues cycle. Virtues Waya cycle. Our first loans will attract attention, and the knowledge that Waya gives out very competitive loans will travel fast, from mouth to mouth, causing more and more application to arrive with us. This amount of application will help us to feed our risk assessment with more data. In turn, our risk assessment improves, and we will be more confident to give out more good loans, causing even more applications to arrive at Waya. Waya is the way. We conclude, Waya Collective is an ambitious project aiming to solve a billion or even trillion-dollar problem. If we are successful, Waya will change the lives of millions of people and push the boundaries of what crypto can be. Enabling access to liquidity at scale can unleash a new age of industrialization in Africa and beyond. To keep the new age fair, we need to decentralize power within the system and make it completely transparent. The Cardano blockchain is the only infrastructure on which such a system could be built. If you believe in our mission, we invite you to join our ISPO today and our token pre-sale later this year. Learn more about Waya Collective. Website, https://wayacollective.com/Twitter, https://twitter.com/Waya Collective. LinkedIn, https://www.linkedin.com/company/Waya Collective/.